Do you like movies? Do you like not sleeping? Do you like thinking about movies when you're not sleeping? What about talking about movies when you're not sleeping? Well, if you do, then you're gonna like the Insomniac's Almanac.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, OVA. It's pretty good. It's not like it follows the games. Not that the games follow the games. It doesn't really matter. But, all things considered, it's got some pretty solid animation and entertaining story with some pretty neat moments. So, here goes. Sonic lives on an island. That's pretty well established. That's canon in practically every version of Sonic except for the Archie comics / Saturday morning cartoon, where he just lives in the forest. Well, whatever. Sonic, he goes fast and is paradoxically lazy. He likes to just laze around on the beach most of the time. Seems annoyed to do anything other than that when everybody comes for him to help. Comes to him for help? Anyways, everybody's there. Everybody you know and love. Tails, Sonic, Knuckles, Dr. Robotnik, Eggman, same person. Owl Professor, Princess Sarah, monkey person, her father, round monkey Eggman. The gang's all here. It diverges from the games. That's a given. So Sonic lives on this island. Robotnik's up to his old schemes. What do you expect? It's a Sonic movie. But hey, the animation's nice. He definitely does look like he's running fast, and Tails is the sidekick and whatever, and Knuckles is barely there, and he's wearing his trademark Australian Outback hat that everybody remembers from the games. You remember that, right? His really cool looking hat that he always wore no matter what. Anyways, Sonic's fighting to actually help Eggman, Robotnik. I mean, he's saying, Robotnik that is, he's come to the president of the world, of the sky world. I can't remember what it's called. It's been a while. But they live in the sky, suffice it to say. Robotnik's like, hey, there's a Robotnik. He's a lot worse than me. I totally didn't make him. He planned a coup and ousted me. I mean, whatever. Sonic, you need to go and get rid of him because I'm clearly a much better choice. Also, I'm going to keep on hitting on Sarah, Princess, the whole time, despite not really your attraction to her, but her attraction to you. Get to it. And Sonic's like, whatever. Tails, of course, is like, yes, sir. Robotnik, sir. Here we go. And I don't even know if they get in this plane. I don't really remember. It's a Sky Island. Surely they get in this plane. They get in this plane. They go to Robotnik land. Whatever they call it. It doesn't really matter. Robotropolis. Maybe. Knuckles shows up at some point. I don't really remember when Knuckles shows up and why it's important. He's not important. Poor guy. I mean, he's super cool, with his neat trademark hat, his digging abilities, and ability to glide. He saved Sonic at least at one point in the movie, so he's not completely useless, but he doesn't do much. He does even less than Tails, which is saying something. They're on this island, and Robotnik Island, and it's not in the sky. It's on the destroyed Earth. It's not really explained why the Earth is destroyed. Robotnik's the only person, so it's kind of implied that humanity destroyed it. Typical Captain Planet. So Robotnik's like the last human, and super evolved animals rule the skies. Robotnik wants a piece of that. Sonic's like, oh man, it sure does suck down here. Wow, look at all this stuff. It looks crazy. It's not anything like our cool place up in the sky with islands and water. And Tails is, of course, completely agreeing because that's what he does. And Knuckles still isn't there. And they find out that, there's a giant metal Robotnik, giant metal robot Robotnik. And they fight him, and, Metal Robotnik's pretty strong. He's huge. He's at least a dozen times bigger than Robotnik, and Robotnik is super fat, so that's saying something. He's a big guy. So they're having a hard time. Sonic runs real fast. That's what he does. Dodges a lot of missiles. Tails, to his credit, I think dodges some stuff. Doesn't get in too much trouble. Whatever. Sonic kind of ignores him regardless. Kind of blows him up with one of his own missiles, I think. Typical heat-seeking. Oh, I'm going to run real fast and go back and hit you with it. Boom. And it looks like it's dead. But then it isn't dead. But then, it turns out Metal Robotnik has this whole time been a convoluted plot from the real Robotnik, real Eggman. He's like, oh, Sonic, you're so dumb. This was really just a way to gauge your speed and abilities so that I could perfectly copy your consciousness onto my new real master plan creation, Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic, of course, is pretty cool. I mean, he's super neat. I love his design. And he's a match for Sonic in every way. He's super fast. He's super cool. He doesn't give an F about anything. That said, for some reason, Sonic's entire being, despite just being observed casually by this robot that Robotnik made, is transferred to Metal Sonic. So his sense of right and justice and ethics is transferred. So there's this Sonic robot that on one hand really wants to beat Sonic, and on the other hand doesn't want to do anything truly evil. He doesn't want to actually hurt people. He wants to help people, but he wants to beat Sonic. That's his primary goal. And of course Sonic himself, he wants to be Metal Sonic. I mean, he's pretty competitive. This is when Knuckles shows up at some point inexplicably, hey, what's up? And he does some stuff, and Sonic gets beaten the first time when he fights Metal Sonic, and Knuckles saves him. I don't really remember a whole lot more. Robotnik is hitting on Princess Sarah the whole time, and at some point she crashes and falls, and Tails touches her boobs, and Knuckles is like, oh, Tails, how dare you? And Tails is like, oh, oops. Sarah doesn't seem to care. She's just concerned about Sonic. So they, of course, present Metal Sonic with some conundrum like, oh, you gotta be good. If you're not good, then, somebody might die. You can't just fight me. Somebody could die. And despite that, of course they fight. But then, Metal Sonic sacrifices himself or something. It keeps Sonic from dying. I know that. Sonic and everybody else probably. I don't really remember if everybody else is involved. And Metal Sonic dies. And Sonic doesn't, and neither does anybody else. And everybody's fine, including Robotnik. And also the stupid owl professor early in the movie. I mean, he's really annoying. He's really stupid. He messes everything up, and serves really no purpose in the whole movie other than being another goofy guy. I wish he died. The end.